So we are now live recording this. This is Andrew Price from Wales. It's just past 10 p.m. in the UK. We're really excited because we actually got the president of Maelle actually with us this evening, or this afternoon if you're in Canada or America. He's joined us, and it's a call that's just been requested to look at some of the updates that are happening in the Canada. Since we launched just before Christmas there in two regions. Chris has kindly come on to actually give us an update as to where we are. What I would say before I pass over to Chris is that, I think in terms of when you're joining a company, one of the things that Suzanne and I were talking about yesterday, when you're joining a company, it's a bit like a marriage, You don't meet your partner for life at the usually first off. And I can actually believe Suzanne and Reminiscence that we've tried quite a few companies with relationships as well in the past. But we both sat together and said we really feel we've got our lifetime partner here, and we really want to marry Maelle. We've never felt like this with any other company before, and actually jump on with Maelle, jump on and actually work with them to deal collectively with any issues that might state that will come our way when starting a new company, like back office issues and perhaps a few issues with delivery. So since we've been involved, I can say this problem's been very, very few. And what I have known is Chris, Rod, and the rest of the corporate team just straight on to get them resolved. So hats off to them. So it's because of that I've asked Chris to actually come on. There's a lot of questions coming to Canadian at the moment, and a lot of them are corporate related. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to a really busy man, and a man that I met a couple of times and absolutely love. He's looking forward to meeting at the retreat in February. Please, can I welcome to all this evening the fantastic Chris Welch.
Well, Andrew, thank you so much. By the way, I could hear most of what you just shared. There's a little bit of background noise. If anybody's on, if they can go on mute, it may make it easier for everybody else. But Andrew, thank you very much for inviting me to join this call. One, because I love talking to you. I love your team. I've enjoyed these work. Here in a couple of months, it's going to be. In a few months, have been working together for a year, and it's been such a great time to work together with you and your team. Love your team. Love the support. And Roz and I and the rest of the team, corporate team, are here to do whatever we can to support you. So you have a fantastic team. Are doing some great things, but I love that we are talking about Canada, and there are, I don't know, I personally have an affinity to Canada. When I was younger, one of the first international trips I took was to Canada. I was up in Alberta at the Olympics, the Calgary Olympics, and since been up to Canada several times. Actually, my father lived in Canada for a couple of years when he was younger. So I spent some good time in and around Canada. I think it's a beautiful country, some amazing people, and so as we launched the business, we always knew that we wanted to go to Canada. And in fact, it was the first new market that we wanted to open. And part of it we didn't know was timing. When would we open Canada, and when would we be ready to open? And the reality is, we launched in October. We got through November, and we said, "Geez, we're at a place where we actually could open at least a couple of the provinces, even though we had already started the registration process to open all of Canada." And we made the decision to say, let's just. There was some interest. We said, let's pull the trigger and go into Canada, at least into the two provinces. We'll sell across Canada while we continue to register across all the provinces. And to be honest, hopefully we'll have some early leaders that will join us, that will be able to get lay some groundwork, understand our business, so that when we open all of Canada, whoever joined with us early will be able to benefit as we grow across the market. I will say that again, that I do love Canada, and I think that, and I've shared this with some of you, I think, that may be on this call. I think there's a great opportunity to provide a really great business and build a really great business in Canada. I think it's one of the markets that there's room for opportunity to give a really good experience, not only great products and have a good business, but a really good experience to Canadian customers, to Canadian mentors and teammates. Now, I realize that as I say that, you may all be laughing, like, Chris, the experience that you're giving to Canadians is horrible right now. And I'll admit, it is definitely not what we had planned, and it's not what we expect. And we are working hard to, over the next 3 or 4 months, make it. During today's call, we can walk through why 3 to 4 months, but make it so that we create an experience and an opportunity where we can build a really great business across all of Canada. And so I want to let you know and commit to you that we are working and will continue to work to improve that experience for both you and for your customers. I've been in touch and I've tried to be available. Hopefully some of those teams, the Canadian teams, know that we try to be really available to you, even if we have not the best news on shipments, on timings, because we want to let you know that, yes, we care about you and that we will improve this process. Part of the decision to pull the trigger back in December, we knew that, some of the operations would improve even over a couple of weeks. We're still working on some of those enhancements, and I think we'll talk about them today. I know you've got a number of questions, Andrea, that the team has asked. Probably one of the first questions is, what's going on with shipping? But I wanted to start this call to let you know that we are committed to you. We went to Canada for a reason, because we think it's going to be a fantastic country, great people, great market, great opportunity, and the way that I think we can differentiate ourselves by supporting you, by placing a warehouse in Canada to improve shipment times, to improve shipping fees, all sorts of things that I think we can do over the next few months to create, as we hit, that we can build a really great business in Canada. So I want to preface this call with that introduction. But I'm really glad to be on this call. And as we move forward, Andrew, you and your team, if you want to have regular calls or updates, I would love to do that, because I want to make sure that we're getting good feedback from you on what's working, what's not, and then also provide you with updates on what we're doing on our side.
Fantastic. We really welcome. I know I've got spoken to the team in Canada. We've got 11 questions that they've collectively put forward for you this evening. But yes, so thanks for that. We have got a number of questions. The one really was, as you started mentioning, was in relation to the deliveries. So one of the things that's come up is why have there been problems with deliveries in Canada? I know that we've had it such a really straight run in the UK, America. So why was it different in Canada? And really going, are they now resolved, those issues about deliveries? And also then, if they are resolved, whether we then going to be looking at extending to the other areas within Canada. So the main question was really around the first part, around the dispatching. What can people expect? When can people expect to have their kits? When can customers expect to have their actual products? Will there be an intention of opening a distribution centre in Canada? I believe at the moment the distribution is coming out of the States. So it's just a general question on update on where we are with the actual distribution.
Perfect. Yeah. So let me give a kind of a timeline of what's happened with our distribution. First, we probably launched Canada at, maybe from an operations standpoint and a dispatch standpoint, the worst time of the year, right during the holiday season, right before, and while everybody is sending products, mailing products and gifts and whatever else, in the middle of December. So we, and often, especially in the States and maybe Canada, that process gets slowed down. We know that that's just part of the time of the year. So that really affected us. But there was another thing that we initially entered into had a shipping partner that we knew was a partner that we could get a product up in Canada immediately, and there was some miscommunication provided to us about the duties paid. I mean, obviously, if anybody has experienced that, the poor situation, we moved quickly away from that partner because we were not informed. There was miscommunication on what was informed to us about what would have to be paid and how that was going to be paid. We as a company obviously are paying for, as part of that shipping, those duties and getting them across the border. The customer, especially customers, or mentors should not have to pay those. So obviously we've gone away from that. We're using a new shipping partner that should give us better shipping times to Canada. Although what they have indicated to us is slower shipping times or what they indicated to us would either be shorter than what's actually happened. I think there's a little bit of spillover still from the holidays, but now we're coming out of that. We should see shipping times condense and get within what they indicate is 4 to 7 business days. I'm thinking it's probably closer to 7 business days. And again, it's business days, which means if you're putting in, on any day during the week, it's probably not going to get in until the next week because it's going to go over the weekend, right? So that's the current lay of the land and the partner that we're using. We're getting it across the border. Customers and mentors should be receiving their packages without paying any duties. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
just making sure. I'm just making sure that I don't keep talking and you can't hear me. So, so that's where we are today. Now, the reality is, and I know, Andrew, you're in the UK even better than even the US, but in the US, and we're looking to improve our operations here in the US. We look at, from a distribution standpoint, we look at Amazon as the gold standard, right? And they set a very high bar. We want to be able to provide an experience that people, online shoppers, experience, right? When they go to shop, regardless who it is, if they shop from Amazon, that they get their products in a similar time frame. That is our goal, not just in the UK, not just in the US, but across all of our markets, including Canada. One of the challenges that we have right now, and it goes into our registration process, is the way that and why we opened up into British Columbia and Ontario is because from a regulatory perspective, those are the only 2 provinces that allow us to actually open business and allow our mentors to be able to sponsor. Every other province has a registration requirement. And so we are in the process and have been since before we launched to register across all the markets and get all of our products passed by Health Canada, approved by Health Canada, which they all have been formulated to be approved by Health Canada. That's one of the requirements that we have from the very beginning. So that we can actually sell and set up shop and sell in Canada. We have a subsidiary, a Canadian subsidiary to operate this all out of. So we are doing kind of going through all the legal requirements to be able to operate and distribute products in Canada. As soon as we're able to get approval of our products and have registration open in Canada, we're already talking to our 3PLs, our distribution, having a warehouse in Canada where we can place product. Initially, it's either probably going to be I'm thinking it's probably, I'll just tell you, looks like it's going to be in Ontario because of its location. But we're also looking at a potential second warehouse at some point in British Columbia. Or Alberta. So we get kind of a couple different locations across the country, only so that we can provide that experience where if you place an order in the morning, that order goes out that same day, and that your customers receive a really good experience, or you receive a really good experience as a mentor. That won't happen. That warehouse won't happen until we get that registration and the products approved. We hope that we hope that will happen by the second quarter of this year. It could happen even sooner, but I'm just going to on the long end, the second quarter, in which we will release that. We will have product there, and we will provide again you and your customers a great experience. And so that is the plan, and that is the strategy. We want to make an investment in Canada to make sure that, because again, we believe that it will be a really good market and we can build a really great business working with all of you. And we're so glad that we have, mentors that have joined so early, even though you have to experience some of these growing pains. By the time that we launch all of Canada, these should be worked out and we'll have a much better experience. Does that answer your question?
That's
Andrew?
absolutely brilliant. And I know that, we had 6 months over here in the UK. We had 6 months of joining Suzanne and I right at the beginning of May, waiting for products to just be shipped anyway because we weren't launching. Yeah. So, I know that it can be difficult because it's only just launched it, but we're so pleased the products are now being shipped out. One of the suggestions that came from Sandy, I called her Sandy Martini, but I mistakenly called her by the wrong name, which she won a draw we had last week. Her name is Sandy Martins Toner. And Sandy,
I know Sandy. Sandy's wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
She is fantastic. And she is online.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Chris.
By the way, Sandy and members of your team, Sandy, have great patience for us. I appreciate your patience and what you've experienced, but we're really excited to work with you. Hopefully, you know that.
Well, thank you. And I do understand the growing pains of, being in something that's sort of, just sort of launching and building. So I am completely okay with that. It's clients that tend to not have as much patience as we do. But, we'll just take it day by day and support each other through this. And before you all know it, we'll be a well-oiled machine.
We will be. We will be by working, but it will only happen by working together and continuing to provide really good input and feedback. I even heard something today which may come up in the call that I was even unaware of. Just really good feedback from a Canadian perspective. That's what we need so that we personalize it. That we're addressing the specific markets by whatever needs those are, whether it be in the UK or the US or Canada, Ireland, wherever.
Absolutely, Chris. I think one of the things we might want to look at while we're working with the shipping companies to streamline some of, the time issues, the waiting time that people are waiting for their product. I know I heard from one of the gals that she's got a client who's waited almost 2 weeks for a mascara to arrive. So one of the things I think that we can do to perhaps alleviate the situation is when the client is sent that email, the next day to say, hey, your product has been shipped. Here's your tracking number. It's going to take, I think it's right now it's saying 3 to 5 business days, if I'm correct. Maybe we can change that number because I know myself, I do a lot of online shopping and some of the things I order, is coming in from Europe or wherever. And when I get that email stating, this is how long I should be anticipating to be waiting, I think if it tells us right away or tells the client right away, you're looking at 7 to 12 days, then it sort of doesn't sit so in the forefront for them, that, oh my gosh, has it been lost in the mail? Why hasn't it arrived? I think it will cause a sense of calm with them.
Sandy, actually, that was one of the issues that I heard today for the first time, that to be honest, must have been overlooked, and that is an easy change. And
wonderful.
I believe I pass along to the development team already. I haven't heard back on that point, but I think because it's a market specific email that does go out. That should be something that we can update to set expectations so that
Great.
You're right. Because if you're expecting 3 to 5 days, you expect it within that time period. If we know it's going to be longer, which it's going to be more than 3 to 5 days currently, then we'll adjust appropriately.
Yes, absolutely. Just because I know a lot of people don't live in houses where it's delivered directly to their door, so they sort of have to adjust their own schedule to say, okay, I've got to make sure I'm home on this sort of day so that I can receive this package.
That's a great update and suggestion. Thank you.
Great.
Really
what other good suggestions or what other good questions do you have?
The other thing myself and my team are wondering, for Canadians anyways, when we reach those fast track bonuses, unfortunately, I reached that fast track bonus, the 30-day anyways, within 2 days, and I'm about to reach the 60-day probably in the next week or so, and it hits Silver Elite. But my question is, we don't get those products, and I don't want anyone in my downline to be working really hard and not benefit from those fast track bonus products.
So let me clarify something. I don't know, and I've communicated this to the customer support. I don't know if this was an issue came from them or some other location. Anyone, especially in Canada, every mentor that joins is eligible for the 30, 60, 90-day fast track. Everybody is. So the fact that you qualified in the first, and I know, Danny, I saw it, you qualified within a couple of days. That 30-day, I'm glad that you're hitting 60-day. What we're actually doing, fast track actually didn't go out for anybody that qualified for any of the fast tracks during, October, November, December. Those didn't go out until the beginning of January. What the plan was, I'll just be honest with you, was that we would release once a month. So anyone that qualified in January, they'll be sent in February. We're actually looking at increasing the intervals on that so that if you've earned it, we send it out on like a weekly or bi-weekly basis.
Fabulous.
We will update. We'll update you when we make that change, but that's something that the development team is working on so that we can get you those products that you've earned faster now that Fast Track is on. But make sure that you know everyone in any market, including Canada, is eligible for the 30-day and 60-day fast track bonuses. Those perks are available, and so you will see those the next time that we run, whenever that is, those promotions, those perks. You'll see those show up in your checkout. But we'll give an update on that and the timing. But you are eligible for those.
Thanks, Chris.
Can I just check in, Chris? In the dashboard, it's for Booking in Canada. Close to the days commence from the day that people now join. Is dashboard then relevant to the Canadians? Does that countdown then happen to them from the day they joined rather than 4-year-old a second from obviously the start of the company?
Yeah, Fast Track begins the day that you join the business. So, and you'll have a 30 days out from that date, 60 days out, 90 days out, and you'll have that within that window. Now, for anyone new to the business that may be on the call, I want to remind you that there are 3 different promotions. So if you can hit all 3, but let's say you do the first 30 days, you don't hit the 30-day, well, you still have time to be able to hit the 60-day. If you hit the 60-day requirements, you get the perks from that. Or if you don't hit the 30 and 60, you still can hit the 90-day. If you miss one, you don't miss out on the others.
Good to know.
Okay.
It's fantastic. When I first looked and I joined Maelle, I thought it's sort of like the 90-day gift was what you get. I didn't realize if you've done the 30 and the 60, you'd have all 3 sets.
You get all 3.
I had so many products arrived this week through hitting the 60 days. It was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So massive thanks for that. Thanks, Sandy, for offering that bit of wisdom as well, and I think that's great. What I would say about shipping, though, is sort of like in terms of direct selling, companies I've been involved in, whilst I might be thinking now, 7 to 10 days is bad, in terms of that's what people are going to wait whilst you're waiting for the distribution centre. In network marketing, that is normal. In the UK, we used to waiting 2 to 3 weeks for products coming over to us from network marketing companies. What I can say, my experience once the distribution centres are sorted, to give you an example, I was recently before Christmas on the way back from Spain. I was in the middle of the sea. I managed to get a connection to place an order on an offer that was on, and I actually got home and my product arrived at my home before I did. So it was absolutely amazing. So, really hats off to you, Chris, for sorting that out. I've never known to literally happen like this. So I know that it will get sorted.
Well, and Andrew, to that point, I think especially for direct sales network marketing companies, I agree with you. And especially in Canada, you have a lot of companies that do operate, that may be U.S.-based companies or have warehouses in the U.S., and you ship to Canada and it does take that 7 to 10 business days, or 4 to 7 business. I mean, it's longer than the in market distribution that you may have from other other channels. That's why we think that there's a great opportunity for us to be able to provide a really good experience by placing a warehouse in our various markets wherever we go, so that not only for you, we're really thinking about your customers. We want to make sure that we are customer focused, we are customer centric, and that comes not only with the kind of products we sell and the incentives or the promotions we run on products, but that experience of placing an order and receiving it within a shorter period of time as possible.
Fantastic. Moving on from the delivery side, I know February the 1st, there was an announcement made that come February 1st, taxes may be applicable in Canada. Could you perhaps just expand on what will happen on February the 1st, Chris?
Yes. So we have had this introductory price for starter kits. That starter kits would be that price. Starter kit price would be inclusive of tax, or you wouldn't have to pay taxes on that. We were going to share that, or we were going to pay that on behalf of the distributors up through February 1st as a incentive for early distributors and early mentors joining the team. So take advantage of that. If you have people that are on the fence or thinking about joining, have them sign up before February 1st. As of February 1st, we will start charging taxes on the starter kits, but that was kind of an introductory price for the first couple months or month and a half while we get going in Canada.
I think it's still going to be worth every single penny, Chris.
I'm glad to see that. I hope so. I hope we better have. We will try to do other things to incentivize and provide hopefully an opportunity that people want to join even after February 1st. But for anyone that you're talking to that is interested, before February 1st, have them join. We want them to join during this month.
Fantastic. And in relation to the prices online for customers, all the prices online, just to confirm, they already include any taxes? So the prices online is what people pay, or do you have to add taxes to that?
No, so Canada and the U.S. operate a little bit differently than the U.K. or Europe, where you have the VAT inclusive price. In Canada and the U.S., the list price or retail price that we show, and as you go through the checkout, you'll be able to see, in addition to that retail price, you'll have taxes and shipping added on top of that.
That's great, thank you. And people are used to it there, it's just a way of marketing between us and overseas.
Correct.
The other thing that came up was the party. This, again, is just a general question, not personal, just to Canada. There was quite a lot of feedback asking, was there any way that the company would review the party credit that's awarded, which at the moment a host has to order within 3 days of the end of the party? Would that be something the company would be willing to review further down the line, as that has come up as an issue that's been less for other providers who have a lot more time to provide their purchases? In particular, we're thinking with the numbers, the sheer numbers of products that will be releasing in 2017. People will say, well, they'd love to have that credit a bit longer to buy some of the other products. So just your thoughts on that, really.
That is a really good point. It's feedback that we have received not only in Canada, but across the U.S. and UK. That is our party time and in the time to claim the perks. For some, if you worked in the industry before, you may have come from a company that that you had to claim those perks at the time the party closed. So really short. So 3 days, you may say, "Wow, that's great," or come from a company that didn't have any perks associated with parties, right? Or you could have come from a company where you had a year to redeem the perks. So if you look at that, it's going to be a little bit of a transition to say, well, that's not enough time. Now, having said that, I want to share that we are analyzing and reworking a number of things associated with parties We're looking at trying to streamline the party process, especially anyone that is a hostess or an holds an in-home party, to be able to improve the checkout process. We're analyzing the timeline on how long to claim a perk after the party. These are some number of things that we will, after we get through kind of this revamp of the parties, which we're currently doing, hopefully we make some changes that will benefit you and your ability to attract hostesses, hold parties, expand the brand, expand your products, etc. So that is something I can't comment on it today because we don't have a final decision. And if I did comment even more than what I've said, Roz will come and slap my hand. So, but I do hear you on that. That is an issue that has been raised, and we are looking at. Can't make any promises right now, but that's really good feedback to receive.
Thank you. Another great positive from Maelle has been the payment process. I've never seen anything like it. I understand. I was talking the other day about the fact that, our pay, especially with the new Maelle Visa card, as soon as an order was placed online, that commission would instantly, it's speeded up over the last few weeks. That was instantly in my back office, in my business directory. As soon as I then clicked on, that I wanted that to be on my Visa card, it was available in a second on my Visa card. So a question that they came for the Canada team is, will they be having the Visa card in Canada? If so, when, and are there charges associated with it in Canada?
So I have some good news and I have some bad news. And Andrew, you may have to close your ears to some of this, or anyone that's from the UK,
okay,
because Canada actually has some perks even better than the UK. So to answer the question first, yes, we are. Obviously, you all have accounts that's created when you join. And Andrew, you can testify to this. There's a process. We have submitted all the documentation. There are some additional things anytime we open a new market that we have to submit before they're allowed to start issuing cards. We've made that process. We made that request. We are waiting on the cards to be manufactured and produced and kind of put it in and set up into the system so we can distribute. We're probably, it's probably not for another, I'm going to say a large range because I can't, probably 6 to 10 weeks from now when those cards are going to be available for the Canadian mentors that are eligible. Now, to receive a card, you have to earn at least $50 worth of commissions, and that's when the card will be issued. But there is a waiting period that we are in before those initial first cards will be passed out or sent out, mailed off to those that have qualified in Canada. Now, this is no different than the U.S. and UK. Andrew, even though we started in October, when did you receive your card? Do you remember?
It was just prior. Well, actually, it arrived when I was in Spain. It's just for Christmas.
Yeah. So they're Canadians just don't. We're not picking on you. This is just a process that we go through with any new market. It takes some time to get those set up within our third-party system, but within the next, 6 to 10 weeks, and hopefully it's sooner because we've already gone through this once before or 2 times before within the U.S. and UK. Those cards will be shipped. Now, when you receive your card, they're in your business centers. There is an FAQ on any potential, how the cards work and how the account works and any potential charges. But to transfer money from your account to your bank, if you like to do that, if you use the card, there's no charge using the card. To transfer to a bank, also there is no charge, which is not the case in the UK. So Andrew, don't listen to this. We did negotiate this heavily to try to get these fees down as low as possible. But there's only so much our third party could do, unfortunately, Andrew. But for Canada, you can transfer them off. There is I believe $1.75, $1.50 or $1.75 monthly charge for the account. but that is, I think that's the only real charge, unless you want to do something, like issue a check or something that is kind of outside the norm. But that's kind of a high-level overview. But there's a great FAQ on the cards and on the accounts in the business center, so you can go look for that.
Okay, that's fabulous. And I've never done a payment like it, so I know that everyone's been completely pleased with how things have panned out. So that the current pay solution, how it's paid directly to the bank account, is fantastic. And once I've even requested that is also within my account within 24 hours. So absolutely fantastic service. So thank you for that, Chris. Just want to show on wider sort of figure. Some of the questions we've asked are around not just pertinent to Canada, but just how many mentors have we now got in Canada? Those very early days. Are there still founding mentors positions available? And generally, what has been the turnover of Maelle, since it launched back in November the 1st?
So we have had. Let me just say. We set some goals, and I think we talked about it at some of the launch events. We set goals for ourselves, a year ago from now, on what do you think we could accomplish? What could we? How big of a company could we be? By the end of 2017, where would we be? And we have blown all those expectations out of the water, thanks to teams and individuals like Andrew, like you and your team, Suzanne and Alfie, Sandy. I mean, we are growing quickly. And we are just enjoy working with all of you. In Canada, even though we are only in Ontario and British Columbia, I know there's lots of interest in other provinces. We are growing well. I don't have the exact number. I believe we definitely have founding mentor spots still available. I think we are between 150 plus, maybe 200. I don't have the exact number. I do know that we have new mentors joining every day. And so, I think as we continue to get closer, we'll be better at communicating how many spots are available or left as we start to get, within the last couple hundred or 150, 100, we'll probably start announcing that so that you can share that with interested parties. But we are growing. We have what I'm most happy about, having met and talked to many of the Canadian mentors, is just how it's not just individuals that have signed up maybe for a starter kit, but it's real leaders and quality individuals and strong individuals that are excited, that have seen the opportunity to join early, despite the issues that we've had to deal with, but because of the ability to join and be one of the first founding mentors and build a great business. And so I'm really excited about that. As a company as a whole, again, we've exceeded all expectations. We are growing. We have, I think, 2017 is going to be a really great big year for all of us. And we've started off January extremely strong. So the future is bright.
Fantastic. The future's pink. Thank you very much for that, Chris. One of the things that was asked on all the final questions was in relation to future events. We had the pleasure, Suzanne and Sarah and Alfie, so the other leaders on the call this evening in the UK, of going to the fantastic pre-launch event we had in London. And it was really one of the highlights, actually was the highlight for myself of last year. What can Canada expect? Will there be events happening planned in the near future within Canada?
Yes, we will. I agree with you. Probably my highlight of last year were the launch events. In particular, there was something special about being in the UK. Maybe it was just you, Alfie, or Andrew, or maybe with you, Suzanne. But just those events, bringing everybody together, especially sometimes you haven't even met people, but you've talked to them. There's something special about holding events. And although we are a social media based company, we do a lot of work online. There is nothing that replicates being in person, being with one another, and the energy that comes from that. We do plan on holding some events in Canada. We've been talking about them. We want to make sure that we have it's at the right time, and I think we'll be talking to some of you, the leaders and teams, and your team, to get feedback on the appropriate time, location, et cetera, because we want this to be a really fantastic event for you, and so we want to work with you to make those events be extremely successful. But we definitely do, Andrew. We have a good time when we get together. Agreed?
Fantastic! I can't wait for the retreat in February when you're back over in the UK.
So we'll have fun events, great events, and we will have some things up in Canada. I am sure that we will. I know that we will have some events this year. We may have some larger events and some smaller events, mentor events, training events, different things. But definitely events are coming.
Fantastic, and I believe I've been to quite a few company events, but I have to say the actual atmosphere at the Maelle event was absolutely unbelievable. And the one thing that I loved more than anything was the fact that there were no egos. Everyone, regardless of what team within the organisation they were from, was supported mutually for everybody. Corporate, field, absolutely everyone. I've never experienced an event like it. So credit to you, Chris, and the corporate team for having that vision and that value base within yourselves to provide that culture. That's what's going to be the magnet here, is the culture that this company has created. It absolutely, definitely is like no other. So credit there to Chris. And I know Sandy is one of us I talked to her earlier. She is hoping, well, actually, delivery is there that she's going to have a kit today. So we have all this excitement from some of these people in Canada, and some of them haven't even had their product. And I have to say, once you receive that product from a quality perspective, it will blow your mind. Absolutely. Ross is so spot on with the branding, the feel, everything about the product. Unbelievable. And I know Suzanne, one of our other close friends, who's on, I think she's on the call with you. I know she's recently had an operation, so she may not be still on, but if she is,
I'm
just say hi. Yes, Suzanne is here.
Hello.
Suzanne, I know that you're Suzanne, you're an absolute quality queen. You love the best of everything in life. Like a lot of us, but from your perspective, being a professional in the beauty industry, what would you say about the quality of the products?
I would say that they far exceeded my expectations. Everything about it, from the packaging to the marketing, is done with absolute class. The quality is phenomenal. When they say they're high-performance products, they are absolutely that. So as somebody in the beauty industry myself, and somebody who certainly likes quality, I would say that you will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. Everybody raves about them. I'm just going to let you into a little secret. I had the oil through today. Oh, my word. That really blew my mind. It's a far bigger bottle than I expected. I put it on my face and I absolutely love it. So you will get these products. Andrew and I started in April, and as he said, we went 6 months building a business without products. We managed to get a team of, I think by launch we had a team of about 600 people, and not one of those had even had their starter kit. So, take it slowly. In terms of, expectation of when things are arriving. I agree with Sandy on, it's very much down to expectation rather than, at the speed that things are arriving. It's what people expect is the problem. And you will have a blast. This is an amazing business. Canada, I wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you ever so much, Suzanne. And I'm so envious. Suzanne's a neighbour of mine, and I haven't had my oils yet. I ordered them before Suzanne, so I was up late when they were put on the system. So I'll be open for a coffee and a taste of your oil shortly, Suzanne. But thank you very much, Suzanne, as well. And thank you for sorting out all the muting and the recording in the background. So pleasure. And also, I actually blame, apologies for Sarah and Jason, because I hadn't moved to the calls. That was a problem with my phone. So Sarah and Jason, it wasn't you coughing. I'm sorry for accusing you. But if you're there and you haven't moved it yourself, or do you want to say any words? I know Sarah, Jason, you have absolutely. What I will say is Sarah this month has become the number one enroller in the whole of our team elite. We have over 800 people in our team, and Sarah is the one enroller, and she's done that since Christmas. Really, she's taken that position. So, Sarah, I don't know if you're still on, if you're unmuted, if you would like to say a few words at all.
Hi, no, I just want to say thanks for everyone coming on, and we're all really, really excited. The morale is just massive, and like Suzanne said, when those products come in those hands, you're away. You are away, and it's kind of like the penny drops. Really, it's kind of like, okay, now I'm going, because you really see just how good they are, and we're all onto something that's so special. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Exciting.
Yeah, thank you ever so much, Sarah. Well, they were all the questions, Chris, that came from this is over the last sort of 24 hours that people within the new medicine in Canada actually rallied together and forwarded. So I really do thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to respond to those. I want to just double check Sandy. She collected a lot of the questions from her team that has already started. I just want to check if Sandy's still on.
I am, Andrew. So thank you so much. I think that Chris has answered all my questions. I'm actually signing someone while I'm on this call with you guys, so multitasking here.
Welcome.
So I think all of my questions have been answered. I am in direct contact with Chris as well, which I'm very, very grateful for. That speaks volumes of the corporate team that they would take the time out of their day to allow mentors to be able to reach out to them directly. So thank you again, Chris and Andrew, and everybody who joined us on this call.
Well, I just say again how much I really appreciate the friendships with all of you and the relationships and the opportunity that we have to work together. I know that any other company would love to work with this group. Every other company would love to. And I feel I know that Roz, myself, the rest of the corporate team, we truly are so grateful for our opportunity to work with you. I want to let you know that we are here to support you, and we are working vigorously to try to continue to improve the experience, the opportunity, so that we can all build a great business together. We're a partner. We're partners in this, and hopefully you all know that we are committed to doing whatever we can to support you. And so please continue to. We welcome feedback. We love to hear that you like our products, and I will have to say the oils are phenomenal. It's nice that it's a new product, but it to be honest, it's my wife's favorite product. So it's a really good product. But I also should say Roz is doing amazing things with our product development. If you like what we've done so far, just wait for the additional new products. We have so many great products coming out. But we like when you provide us good feedback. But I personally, and I know Ron's the same way, we appreciate and like even more when we get that good constructive feedback on ways and ideas of how to improve the business. So keep sending those, keep communicating that, share them up. Andrew, Sandy, Suzanne, provide those. Sarah, provide those to us so that we can make the changes necessary to continue to grow the business. We realize also we are ground floor. We are just starting. We just launched 2-3 months ago. So let's continue to tweak the business where needed, so that we can be a great business. A year from now, it's going to be completely different. Your team of 600 is going to be small compared to where you'll be a year from now, and you're different from 2 years from now. We want to lay the foundation, so continue to provide that great feedback to us, and let's build a great business together.
Thank you ever so much. So thank you again, Chris. What I will finish the call this evening just saying is that obviously in March we have our first travel incentive actually taking place in St. Lucia. Suzanne, Alfie and myself are so thrilled to actually be going on that trip. And it is a completely fully expensive trip. You know, I've seen others where you have to get your own flights, so our flights are being catered for as well. But why I bring this up, not to rub salt into the wounds, but to actually say we within our team have another place available at St. Lucia that is actually up for grabs this month, sort of a second chance. And you know, I think if you're just starting this business or just enrolling someone who's just starting, you know, it's only going to count from people you enroll and say, oh, did you do this month? So if, you know, with the momentum you usually get when you first start with, you know, all that excitement, I truly believe that somebody on this call could be meeting us in St. Lucia in March and qualify for that additional place. And that is exclusively for our team and our umbrella team business besties that we work closely with. So that's open for all you guys on this phone this evening to go for. Again, the details of how to qualify to actually win that are in the Team Elite Facebook page or message me separately, and I will actually send them on to you. But, you know, it can be done. So thank you anyway. Thank you so much, Chris. I'll actually ask Suzanne to do the stop recording shortly. This will be available. I will post the recording later this evening in the group chat. So this can be available. I know there are a lot of people wanting to get on this call, but obviously they haven't finished work yet due to the time differences. So, you know, I hope the call has been useful. And again, massive thanks to you, Chris, for taking the time out and responding. You know, we've got a great and I was my admiration for you. So thanks again. I will close the call and thank you all and have a good evening, good night, whatever you are. Thanks very much, guys. Bye for now.
Hey, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a great week.
Thanks for coming on.
Bye.